What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. Happy Saturday. Well, not such a happy Saturday for the Bears on the injury front. We're going to get into all of that. A lot of key pieces not playing in this game tomorrow. And for one player in specifically, a key piece out for at least a month. So not great news on that front. My name is Harrison Graham. Hopefully, otherwise, you are having a fantastic weekend. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. That way you never miss an episode here on Chicago Bears Now. We got you guys covered every single day, whether I'm on or whether I'm off, in the studio, in my home office. We got you covered, all things Bears. Good news or bad news, and honestly, it's not the best news today. I'm not surprised by this. Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon both were not activated for this game. I do think the fact that the Bears have a quick turnaround and are playing on Friday probably played a role for at least Jaylon Johnson, who did have back-to-back full practices. Had they, had a normal rest week next week to play next Sunday, maybe they would have activated one or both of these guys. But I think with the quick turnaround, they're playing this cautious. They're going the safety route, which probably makes sense. But this game is also more winnable than the Eagles game, so it is what it is. I think you just have to kind of accept this. That it was a long shot for these guys to play in this one with the short week coming up. Definitely a bummer. Certainly having these guys out there would help, but at the same time, if they're able to play Black Friday and stay healthy the rest of the season, that's what the most important thing is. You need Kyler Gordon and Jaylon Johnson to be healthy for the rest of this year. If this team is going to be a team that does damage in the postseason, you need them in December and into January. So I think this is probably the right call, even if it's a little frustrating for us as Bears fans. But at the end of the day, A, I'm not surprised. B, I'm not even necessarily disappointed, even if just from a fandom standpoint, it is a bit of a bummer. The good news is it sounds like both are hopeful to play on Black Friday. So if there's no setbacks early next week, gearing up for that Friday contest against Philadelphia, then I would guess you see those guys out there. Who's not going to be out there tomorrow or on Black Friday or in the first game against the Packers or the Browns game is Tremaine Edmunds. Tremaine Edmunds is heading to injured reserve, which means he is going to miss at least 4 games. Just brutal, man. Just brutal. Tweaked his groin late in that last game with like 2 minutes left. Somehow finished that game against Minnesota, and now he's out. This team, and it's not just the Bears, you're seeing it across the league, but man, the soft tissue injuries with this team, especially this year, but really the last few years, it's just been brutal, man. Just been brutal. You wonder if there's going to be an internal review this offseason with the medical staff because they just can't keep these guys healthy. And Tremaine Edmunds is a guy who really hasn't had injuries. So now that he's going to miss a month, I mean, critical stretch here too. The good news is, and there's not much, but there is hope you're going to get TJ Edwards back pretty soon, whether it's Black Friday or in that Week 14 game against Green Bay. But Edmunds is out at least a month. Both TJ Edwards and Noah Sewell are out for this game against Pittsburgh. It's already going to be a tough matchup this week because of that, because no one runs more 12 personnel than the Steelers. They also run a lot of jumbo packages with an extra offensive lineman, a third tight end. They're using Darnell Washington as an extra blocker and a guy that leaks out of the backfield. I mean, this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a tough game. You are out 2 starting defensive backs, Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon. Your top 3 linebackers, Tremaine Edmunds, TJ Edwards, and Noah Sewell. I know he wasn't playing that well, but Dayo Odeyingbo is another starter on your team that tore his Achilles. You're just ravaged defensively. You're just absolutely been brutalized with injuries, and that's why I've defended Dennis Allen, even though outside of the takeaways, the defensive numbers haven't looked great because they're just getting killed with these injuries. So it's definitely this one is brutal news. Jaylon and Kyler one more week. All right, like I can deal with that, but Edmunds to miss a critical 4-game stretch here. I mean, you hope you just kind of survive here. Can you go 2-2 over the next month, and you get him back for the last 3 or 4 games, hopefully heading into the postseason. That's really all you can hope for. You guys also see the note there as well. Roschon Johnson out at least 4 games. He has also been placed on IR. I don't even know when he injured his thumb. It's like, this guy just can't stay healthy. And the thing with him, it's not really soft tissue stuff. It's like he's had concussion problems. Now I guess he broke his thumb or something. Pretty brutal. You wonder if we've seen kind of the end of Roschon in Chicago. We'll talk about Brittain Brown. There is some roster signings and practice squad elevations for this game that we're going to get into here in just a moment. But first, do have to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's very easy to navigate the Prize Picks app. You just sort by sport and then by player and start scrolling for specific stats: passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, combo stats like rushing plus receiving yards or touchdowns as well. Points, rebounds, assists in basketball. You got goals and assists in hockey and soccer. All sports available. The way to qualify for a Prize Picks lineup is to choose more or less on 2 to 6 player lineups. Choose more or less on the stats for those specific players. And if you hit, you win money. How you play is up to you. If you want flexibility in your lineup, choose the flex play option, which means you can miss up to one time in your lineup and still make money. Or if you want to go for the big payout, go for the power play option. I've got a little 2-player lineup this upcoming game. I took more on DeAndre Swift's rushing yards and DK Metcalf's receiving yards in this one. Little $20 lineup to win $60. Just an example of what a Prize Picks lineup could look like. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Okay, so 4 roster additions, 2 to the 53-man roster, which means they could be on the active roster beyond this week. Brittain Brown at running back. He's basically your Roschon Johnson replacement. I think he's actually an upgrade over Roschon offensively. Now we'll see how much he contributes on special teams. And then Carl Jones Jr., who's kind of bounced off and on the 53 and the active roster, a linebacker who the Bears are comfortable with. He'll be in the mix behind DeMarco Jackson and Ruben Hippolyte at that linebacker spot. You'll obviously see C.J. Gardner-Johnson mix it up down in the box this week, maybe Jaquan Brisker as well. They could use Jonathan Owens in some dime packages, but some reinforcements there at running back and linebacker. Because don't forget, Travis Homer also out for this game. Not on IR, but he is out for this game. 2 practice squad game day elevations. Offensive lineman Jordan McFadden. Remember him? He had a really good training camp and pushed for a roster spot, and they actually tried to see if they could trade him, but they ended up cutting him and brought him back on the practice squad. That is a sign of Theo Benedict potentially being out. Kevin Fishbane, I've been told by a source as well that Theo is a guy to watch tomorrow. They'll probably work him out before the game, but if he can't go, you're thin at tackle. Ozzie Trapillo and Darnell Wright in that situation would be your only healthy tackles because Braxton Jones is obviously on injured reserve. And so is Karan Amagaji. Jordan McFadden, who's more of a guard but could play tackle in a pinch. What would happen hypothetically? Let's just say, Ozzie Trapillo got injured during the game tomorrow, assuming he gets the start if Theo can't go. What would probably happen is Joe Tooney, who's done this before with the Chiefs, would kick out to left tackle, and then Ryan Bates would kick in at guard, and then Jordan McFadden would be next man up. That is probably what would happen. You've got Luke Newman in there as well, who could mix it in. McFadden could be your backup right tackle in this game also if Darnell Wright were to get banged up. So just gives you some flexibility to have McFadden up if Benedict is not active. I'm not really sure about the Nikola Kalinic elevation. He's a tight end. Remember, Stephen Carlson is out of game day elevation, so maybe Ben Johnson is looking to run some more jumbo packages. Maybe they're going to have a 4th tight end active. I'm not sure, so that one caught my attention. Maybe because they're thin at tackle, they want to have an extra tight end ready to go. One thing that's worth mentioning is Ozzie Trapillo was kind of being used as that extra offensive lineman, so if he starts, maybe they're going to use these tight ends even more as extra blockers. So Kalinic there could be a guy that could help serve that purpose. All right, we'll get to the Steelers here, then we'll sign off. Aaron Rodgers, will he play? He's still considered questionable as of today. Probably a game-time decision. My gut tells me he's going to play, at least start the game, right? They've got 3 quarterbacks with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard there as well. So even if, you start Rodgers if you're Pittsburgh, and it's not going well, or he can't grip the football, he's having ball handling issues, whatever the case may be, or if he were to get hurt, well, then you still have Mason Rudolph, you still have Will Howard. So you would just think that he would be out there. And the stakes are high for the Steelers in the playoff picture. Obviously, his history with the Bears as well. I would bet a decent amount of money that he's at least going to try and give it a go. Might be a game time decision, but unless it's just a disaster in warmups, handling the football, I think he's going to end up playing in this one. Obviously, we'll continue to monitor that. And then some good Steelers news, whereas there was a lot of not so good Bears news on the injury front. Darius Slay officially cleared through the concussion protocol. He will be active and playing in this game. Now, he hasn't had a great year, so I think he's a guy you can target if you're the Bears. And then Cam Hayward, who was seen in a boot on Friday, he's good to go. No injury designation. He will play. That was more of a precautionary issue. So 2 veteran starters for Pittsburgh are good to go to play in this one. So as we kind of wrap things up here, the Bears are much more beat up. I know Rodgers' injury situation, but honestly, a nicked up Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, probably not a massive difference at this point. The Bears are just decimated defensively in their back seven. Top 3 linebackers out. They're, Jaylon and Kyler aren't coming back. So it's going to take a Herculean effort. And realistically, my initial score prediction was 24-21 Bears. You're probably going to need more than 24 points to win this game. Because even though Pittsburgh's offense has some limitations, you would think they're going to be able to run the football with some success, given who you're going to have to trot out there, linebacker, and just at times play lighter with more DBs in the secondary, which gives the opponent a better chance to run the football. So going to be a tall order. We'll see if Dennis Allen's group is up to the task, and we'll see if Caleb Williams in the offense can make some plays. I mean, you're going to have to score. In that Cincinnati game going into it, we knew the Bears were going to have to score a lot of points, and they scored 47. Not saying you're going to need to do that, but you might need 30 points in this game to win it. The good news is you're at home, so we'll see if the Bears can get it done. My name is Harrison Graham. That's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. We have our watch party tomorrow, live at 10:45 a.m. Central Time with kickoff set for noon. So be sure to subscribe and join us for that. We'll see you then. Bear down.